Looking back at your preliminary exercise, what do you feel you have learnt in the progression from it to the full product? What makes your main task better than your preliminary exercise? Since my preliminary exercise, I have been studying the generic conventions of magazines and looking at so many different ones over the time. One thing that helped me make a better main task was that I had magazines of the same genre at hand all times, whereas in the preliminary exercise there was no college magazines around to look at for inspiration, and this made my main task look better and more professional. My preliminary exercise photographs were just quickly taken on my iPhone, so although the camera isn't bad, it isn't up to the standards I set when taking photos on the SLR camera for my main task. While studying these different magazines, I noticed that magazines of my genre all have plain backgrounds, whereas I was taking photos with distractions in the back, so I had to go and retake photos for my preliminary exercise. Because of this, I had the upper hand when it came to my main task, and instantly decided on taking them in the college photo suite because there's a plain backdrop up ready. My time management was an issue affecting the quality of my work as well. My timing was inadequate, and meant I was rushing to get things finished by deadlines, so the work I have produced isn't up to standards as I think it could be. What have you learned about the importance of research, planning, and producing your magazine? After doing my pitch, I was handed a lot of feedback sheets from my classmates who judged me on pretty much everything from masthead to content and design. From this, I was able to improve my ideas and completely cut out ideas that people didn't appreciate. I learnt from researching magazines that not all magazines are the same. They all have their own unique selling points and designs, and their own methods of attracting and addressing their audience. In terms of planning, I made call sheets, which were a reminder of what I needed on the day of photographing, and what time I would need to arrive at. Making flat plans also allowed me to experiment with my ideas and see what looked best on paper, but even though this was planned out, I didn't stick to it anyway because after photographs were taken, they just looked better in different places. What have you learned about the importance of organising, time management, and backing up work? I have learnt that organisation is key in this line of work, and once you step out of your arrangements for when things are going to be done, everything is tipped on its head. You begin to have to rush one thing to catch up on another, and by the time you've done that, you're already behind on something else, so time management is very important. Organising my work has been a big lesson for me whilst doing these magazines. I needed to store them in multiple places such as OneDrive and memory sticks, as well as the Z drive on my account so that work would not be lost and I had to start over several tasks due to losing it or the file becoming corrupt. What have you learned about working with others? Working with others can be such a relief at times. I and the people I sat with in media were all doing very similar genres of magazines, so we were able to help each other out and suggest that things be changed to help one another. We were also able to take our photos together in shortened down time, so we had more time to produce the magazine. It can be a little frustrating to see that someone you're partially working with is a lot further through their work than you, though, because you weren't able to stick to your timing schedule. So this can put you on edge, and it's better off to just relax and just ask them for suggestions on how you can catch up and how they manage to keep on track and work better. What would you do differently if you had to make another music magazine? Honestly, if I was to produce another music magazine, I would change pretty much everything. I would go for another genre. Yes, I have enjoyed making this one, and although pop isn't the sort of music I like to listen to, it's a much softer topic and a cheesier magazine, and leaves you with more leeway for experimentation. I would make a schedule instantly for time management, as mine was lousy this go around, and I would make sure that I was more organised instead of doing things last minute like this time.